for decimals. So we want to first look at decimal addition and subtraction. So decimal addition and subtraction are almost identical to the whole number addition and subtraction. The only thing that we have to make sure is when we add them up, we want to line up the decimal place. For example, this one, 2.6 plus 3.1. Student has to make sure the singles still has to line up. The decimal place needs to line up. And this is the first tens place. Just line up every single place, then add. So this is a 7, this is a 5, and carry it down the decimal place. That will be the final answer. As long as you lined up all the places correctly, and then you move down the decimal place, you do the carryover exactly the same as if you do for whole numbers. So for the second example, 123.8, 5.38. So this one is slightly different because you have two decimal places here. You have only one, but that's okay. If you don't have that, as if you're having a 0 there, as long as your numbers are lined up correctly, here you have the same decimal place, then you just do addition just like how you always do, right? So this is 8, 3, 8, that's 11, carry over 1, 3, 5, that's a 9, 2, 1, decimal place. Just like the addition with whole numbers. And subtraction, I'll leave this one for the student to work on. 0.295, 0.15, subtraction. Again, line up this is a singles place, which is 0. This is the decimal place, line them up. This has 3 digits, this only have 2, so the last one would be 0. So 5 minus 0 is a 5, 9, 5, that's a 4, 2, 1, that's a 1. So that's the final answer. Remember, just line up all the places. Decimal multiplication and division. So here is it's different from the addition and the subtraction. For lower grade students, we can always do as if you don't have the decimal place. For example, this one, you can work on this as if you don't have a decimal place. 259 multiply 100, which would give you 259.00. Your decimal place is right here, okay? When you multiply that by 100, that's what you get. Now remember, you got decimal place, there are 2 digits right behind your decimal place. So you want to move your decimal point into here. So that's your final place, the decimal place, which is 259. This one, 36.7 divided by 1,000. So let me talk about this one again. 2.59. If you don't do it this way, multiply 100. When you multiply 100, if you are doing with whole numbers, you just add a 0 at the end, right? So for example, 5 multiply 10 is 50. So 5 has a decimal place right here, right behind it. 5.0 multiply 10. As if you move the decimal point one place later because you are multiplying 10. So decimal place moved from here to here. In this example, it's the same thing. You multiply 100, so you have to move the decimal point by 2 places. So you move this one first to here and then to here. 2 places, right, because you're multiplying 100. So even the final answer is 259. Division is the same way. 36.7 divided by 1,000. Divided by 1,000. So for example, we say 50 divided by 10. 50 has a decimal place right here. Divided by 10, that means move the decimal place to the front by 1 place. So that gives you a 5. So you divide it by 1,000, you have to move the decimal place forward by 3 times. First time is here, second time, and then third time. So you're running out of space here, right? So it's always 0, 0. So you move it here, and then you move it here. So your final answer would be 0.0367.